Hey kiddos, this is Mrs. Huddleston. This week we're going to be looking at pronouns again, but this time we're going to be looking at how we use them in the sentence and making sure that we're using them correctly. So, just as a quick review, these are the personal pronouns that we're looking at. We have our first person pronouns, I, we, me, us. We have our second person pronoun, you, stays the same no matter what. And then we have our third person pronoun, he, she, it, they, him, her, it, them. Okay, so we saw these last week, but now we're going to see how we can pick them in the sentence, of which one to use and how to use them correctly. So just as a reminder, a subject pronoun is the subject of your sentence. We usually see these before our verb. And then object pronouns are objects. That doesn't mean that they're things. That means they're like direct objects, indirect objects, or objects of the preposition. So if you have a preposition and it's the what after the preposition, or it's the what after a verb, or it's the to whom after a verb. Notice that a lot of these come after the verb, so that's a big clue of which type to use when. So we're going to look at a few examples and we're going to try to find the verb first in order to figure out which pronoun to use in the blank. So blank skipped along the path. Right here I can see the word skipped is my verb. Since the line comes before my verb, that means I'm going to be using a subject pronoun. So I could use I skipped, we skipped, she skipped, they skipped, or he skipped. All of those would work. Now in this sentence, Callie gave blank a bag of chips. You'll see that this blank comes after the verb. That means I cannot use a subject pronoun. This time I'm going to have to use an object pronoun. So I can use Callie gave me a bag of chips, Callie gave us, Callie gave her, Callie gave them, Callie gave him a bag of chips. All of those would work. So make sure you're finding where your pronoun is in the sentence. If it's before the verb, then it's going to be a subject pronoun. If it's after the verb, then it's going to be an object pronoun. But of course, nothing is ever quite that simple, right? There are times that your ear is going to try to trick you. The first way that it's going to try to trick you is with compound subjects or compound objects. Look at this one. Susie and blank went to the movies. Now, again, if we look at our verb, went, this comes before the went. So I'm going to use a subject pronoun. Susie and I went to the movies. Susie and we went to the movies. Susie and she went to the movies. A lot of times, though, people get this mixed up because it follows an and they want to use object pronouns. You can't do that because, again, you have to find where your verb is first. Okay, this one is going to be a different sentence. So Daniel told my sisters and blank a ghost story. Notice my verb told is over here. That means my blank is after told. That means I'm going to be using an object pronoun. So Daniel told my sisters and me a ghost story. Daniel told my sisters and us a ghost story. Daniel told my sisters and her a ghost story. Again, with these people and the word and, it gets very confusing because some people just do it wrong and your ear's going to trick you. So here's rule 1 on compounds. If you take out the person and from the sentence, you'll know which one to use. So instead of saying Susie and, if I just took that part out, it becomes very clear to my ear what I need to use. I went to the movies, we went to the movies, she went to the movies. Same with the second sentence. Daniel told me a ghost story. Daniel told us a ghost story. If I take out the person and the and, then my ear is going to hear what I need to in order to know which one to use. Okay, that's our tricky rule 1. Here's our second tricky rule. When this sentence has a linking verb. Remember, linking verbs don't have objects. They can have predicate nouns or they can have predicate adjectives, but they don't have a direct object because the subject of the sentence is linked with that noun or that adjective that goes with it. So the shortest girl in the room is I. Those are linked together. They're being the same. The shortest girl in the room is she. Now, again, your ear's not going to pick that up because a lot of times people say this wrong, but if there's a linking verb like is, then you have to use a subject pronoun. This one you might hear more. Who is it? Who is he? Who is she? Who are they? You still use that subject pronoun when you have a linking verb. All right, so we've had basically 3 basic tips. Our first tip is to use a verb as an idea of what type to use. So if your pronoun comes before the verb, you're going to use those subject pronouns. If your pronoun comes after the verb, you're going to use those object pronouns. Our first tricky rule, though, was if there's a person and, take that part out of the sentence, your ear will pick up what you need. You can still look for the verbs. And our tricky rule 2 was if you see a linking verb, then you have to use the subject pronoun. All right, I hope that helps you guys out. Good luck on your pronouns this week, and stay safe and warm. Bye, guys.